Hello and welcome to a time special presentation for Thirukkural with the Times, where we explore real-world lessons from the classic Tamil text Thirukkural with motivational speaker, author and diversity champion Bharathi Baskar as she explores the masterpiece. We have all taken foolish decisions that somehow produced fortunate outcomes. We have also taken thoughtful, carefully reasoned decisions that failed despite our best efforts. The quality of a decision and the quality of its outcome may not be equivalent. What has this dilemma and Thiruvalluvar's deeply philosophical thoughts got to do with a game of poker?
The conversation began cautiously. I was meeting a group of my daughter's Gen Z friends, a generation that guards its privacy differently. So I stayed with safe pleasantries and allowed introductions to emerge naturally. Most were IT professionals. Then came a young man who introduced himself as a professional poker player. For a brief moment, I tightened my grip on the armrest. A professional poker player? Years of social conditioning demanded a reaction. Fortunately, age teaches restraint. So I kept a neutral face and listened. The young man explained that changing regulations in India made his profession difficult and that he was exploring other opportunities. Curious, I asked what skills he would mention to prospective employers. His answer lingered with me long after the evening ended. Poker, he said, is about assessing probabilities, making decisions with incomplete information, managing risk and remaining emotionally steady when outcomes refuse to cooperate. Many successful poker players rely on principles from game theory. Every choice depends not only on the cards they hold, but also on what others may be holding. The more I thought about it, the more it sounded like life itself. When we look back at our best and worst decisions, we usually judge them through the lens of outcomes. A decision that led to success becomes a good decision. One that ended badly becomes a poor one. Yet, life rarely cooperates with such neat conclusions. We have all taken foolish decisions that somehow produced fortunate outcomes. We have also taken thoughtful, carefully reasoned decisions that failed despite our best efforts. The quality of a decision and the quality of an outcome may never be equivalent. Perhaps our greatest weakness is our discomfort with uncertainty. We admire confidence and reward certainty. We are suspicious of people who say, I don't know, or I'm not sure. Yet, those may be among the wisest words a person can utter. Good poker players and good decision makers share a common trait. They are comfortable living in a world where certainty is unavailable. Instead of asking, am I right? They ask, how likely am I to be right? The experienced player studies probabilities, gathers information and estimates the choices operants are likely to make. But even then, the player knows something very important. There are cards he cannot see. Life too is seldom a game of chess where every piece stands visible on the board. It is much closer to poker. We rarely know the motives, fears, intentions and constraints hidden in the minds of others. We make choices with partial information and discover the consequences only much later. That thought reminded me of Anton Chekhov's famous story, The Bet. A wealthy banker and a young lawyer had a bet once. If the lawyer agreed to be imprisoned for 15 years, the banker will pay him 2 million rubles. Tempted by the fortune beyond imagination, the lawyer accepted. The years passed. In solitude, the lawyer immersed himself in books. What began as a confinement slowly transformed into liberation. Through literature, philosophy, and reflection, he discovered an inner richness that made wealth seem insignificant. On the eve of his release, he wrote a letter to the banker renouncing the money. The irony was devastating. The banker, on the other hand, who was ruined by reckless bets and speculations, had planned to murder the lawyer rather than pay the amount. Entering the prisoner's room, he saw a letter that was left behind by the lawyer and then realized the truth. The man behind the bars had become free. The man outside has remained a prisoner. Neither one of them could have predicted that outcome when the bet began. Perhaps that is the lesson hidden inside every wager we make in life. Outcomes are never entirely ours to command. Every decision contains forces beyond our vision and beyond our control. Thiruvalluvar condemned gambling without reservation. He observed that gamblers may win once but lose 100 times. There is certainly no difference for gambling given the suffering it has brought to countless families. Yet, there remains something to learn from professional gamers. They understand that good decisions do not guarantee good outcomes every time. Luck has an oath. Circumstances has an oath. Hidden information has an oath. The only thing fully available to us is the quality of our judgment. Thiruvalluvar captures this myth beautifully in Kural 371. Aagoozhal Thondrum Asaivinmai, Kaipporul Poegoozhal Thondrum Madi. On favorable terms of fate, energy seems to arise effortlessly. On unfavorable terms, even enthusiasm fades. Perhaps wisdom lies in accepting that certainty is often an illusion.